Hi guys, I'm back again here with Methods.
Hey.
And this time we want to show you the Destroyer of Worlds, the ultimate mining machine. This is a combination of a bidirectional TNT quarry that could be moved down layer by layer and a water drainer. So this is the perfect machine if you want to make perimeters. So here we just made a 100 by 100 area for a showcase. It's really optimal if you do a 300 by 300 area at once. It's a tileable design, so you could add more segments at the back and make it basically as long as you want to, and you just limit it by the random distance and at some point lag. And this machine gets rid of three problems that the TNT quarry had. So this time, because we moved down layer by layer and the explosions happen directly above the area you want to remove, you don't have any floating blocks left. Then the second advantage, obviously, since we have the drainer, is that you remove all the lava and water, which you previously had to do by hand. And you could even use this machine, for example, in an extreme hills biome or even amplified terrain without having to rebuild the duper. So normally TNT has a reach of 77 blocks, but since we moved down layer by layer, you could do a perimeter in an extreme hills biome without needing to rebuild a duper a second time. The machine is also easy to operate. So here at the bottom is this trapdoor, and if you activate it, the machine would start. And it would automatically go down layer by layer unless you remove this block right here. So now TNT is dropping and also the water drainer is starting. Of course, we always get some ghost blocks. Okay, now the machine is on the way back, and it would stop since we removed that gold block. And you can also see another advantage of this system compared to the old TNT duping quarry is that no items are left behind, which also usually are lag causes. And there's even one more advantage. If you, for example, are on lower layers, you could pick out some ores. So you could run this machine layer by layer and use a elytra with rockets and fly above and search for ores you want to pick out. The only issue that is left, and which is also the reason why I can't run this machine completely unsupervised, are obsidian blocks. So especially in lower layers, I would recommend to run the machine layer by layer and search for naturally formed obsidian, and because you need to remove it, because otherwise obviously the flying machines will collide.
So over here we have those trenches, and those are needed just in case you have a water pocket, for example, right here, and it could spill over the quarry area and just not destroy anything, and that would break the whole system, because if the liquid remover would run into blocks, it would just break the whole quarry. So we have to have these 8 wide trenches here, so no water could flow in. Also, this quarry is directional. Because of update order, I would build it in the south direction, but it could be built so you could use it in another direction.
Mm-hmm. So the problem,
I don't think making it proof for all directions not really worth it. Would just make the build a whole lot bigger.
Yeah, so the problem is if you push down the part right here, I would need to adjust it for other directions because of the update order. But since you mostly use it to make square perimeters anyway, I think it's fine.
Doesn't really matter from where you run it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now making this machine looks kind of simple, so it doesn't look that complicated compared to other flying machines without observers. But the process to create those machines really takes several hours, and we want to go through the biggest challenge we had, which is pushing down the TNT duper. So this is the first time that we try to push down a TNT duper in another place, and we had some problems. So this is the normal standard TNT duper, runs fine. If you push it in one direction, the TNT gets duped and falls down in the back. But now the problem is pushing this whole thing down, because you can't really give any update to those TNT blocks. They're in an abutted state, and if we would try to update them, they just fall down. So the first thing we tried is just to push down the TNT duper from the top here. But then the problem is that the duped TNT would land on the other TNT and the whole machine blows up. Okay, so this doesn't work. So the next attempt we made was starting the flying machine in the back immediately afterwards. so the TNT can fall down, and most of the time this would work. So we start the machine right afterwards, but it could go wrong, so the TNT could also land on the slime block where the rail is placed on, and then the TNT would get stuck and the whole machine blows up. This is just a 1 in 100 chance, but obviously we can't use this. So the next idea was to put a block on top of this TNT, so it's getting pushed down, and this also works reliably. But the issue is you couldn't run it horizontally afterwards. So as you can see here with the block on top, TNT gets stuck and it doesn't take long and the whole machine blows up. So the next idea was to use a slab instead to push the TNT down, and this works great. No, it doesn't work great. So this also doesn't work. Also TNT can get stuck on the other TNT, and there's also a chance that it might work, but not all the time. And then Method had the next idea to attack it from 2 sides. So pull down here and push at the same time. So we need the update order. We pull down first, then push down, and this works. But obviously this is getting quite complicated. We tried to add it to the flying machine, but it's just too complicated to pull down from the bottom and push from the top. And so we searched for a simpler solution. So the next thing we tried is push from 2 sides at the top. But we need to remove that piston here. But yeah, this also doesn't work reliably. There's also some update order involved and it didn't work. So then I had the idea to use an end rod, and this works perfectly. But the problem with the end rod is that it's a light source, and if you use it on a flying machine, it creates tremendous lag. So it would work, but the FPS or TPS goes down too much, and for a 300x300 quarry it wouldn't really be a viable option. So it works because the end rod is it goes slightly lower than the slab, but it's not a full block, and it works perfectly. But obviously it's not an option because of the light source status. The next thing we tried was to move down the end rod separately, and then have this block here, so the end rod wouldn't get pulled along. So start this machine, push it in that direction, and recheck the end rod again, and only use the end rod to push down the TNT, or wouldn't even need an end rod, a normal block would do as well. But then by accident I found out that if you push down the end rod first, so with the correct update order, it doesn't dupe any TNT, and this was the perfect solution. And so now we didn't even need the end rod, we just replaced it with the slab here, and this is basically the final design. So now I could just power this piston at the top here, and it pushes down the whole machine, and no TNT dupes. And this is what we used in the end. Can also make a short tutorial how to get the slab here. So you need to build such a structure, then add slime blocks like this. Then we need a powered rail, or any rail here, and a powered rail there. Put a minecart on top. Then we need 2 slabs, one here and there. Then we need to power the whole thing. Remove the slab, and then you got the slab above the budded TNT. So in the end, the only thing you really need to take care of with this machine is situations like this, where water forms obsidian. So at the later stages, I would recommend to go layer by layer, stop the machine again, search for obsidian and remove that, and then start the machine again. Obviously, obsidian is the problem because if the water drainer runs into it, it would just stop, and then it doesn't take long until the TNT tuber destroys the drainer. Okay, I think we mentioned everything that's important. If you want to build this, there is the world download. Keep in mind that the machine is directional. It has to fly in the south direction and go back north, dock at the station. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye.